Heartland wakes up every morning pretending everything is fine, but the silence left behind still speaks louder than words. Even after all this time, the land remembers who is missing. And so does Amy. Life at Heartland keeps moving because it has to, not because anyone is ready. The horses still need care, the fences still need fixing, and the sun still rises over the fields like nothing ever changed. But for Amy, every day feels like walking through a place that looks the same but no longer feels like home. She smiles when she needs to, speaks when spoken to, and does everything expected of her. Yet inside, there is a quiet space that never filled back up. His absence is not loud anymore. It is soft, heavy, and constant. It shows up in the small moments. Like when she reaches for help that is no longer there, or when she catches herself turning to speak and remembers no one is standing beside her. Heartland did not break after Ty was gone. It learned how to survive without him, and that is what hurts the most. Amy has grown stronger, but that strength came at a cost. She learned how to carry pain without letting it slow her down. She learned how to breathe through memories that still feel fresh. At the ranch, she throws herself into work because work keeps her mind busy. Horses understand her in ways people cannot. They do not ask questions. They do not expect explanations. They feel her sadness and respond with calm, steady trust. Still, even in the quiet of the barn, Ty's presence feels close. His voice echoes in lessons he once shared, in choices she now makes alone. Every success feels incomplete because the one person she wants to share it with is no longer there. Amy does not cry the way she used to. Her pain has settled deeper, becoming part of who she is now. The family tries to protect each other, but grief has changed them all. Jack carries his loss with silence and routine, believing that keeping busy is the only way forward. Lou stays strong for everyone. Even when her own heart feels pulled into many directions, they laugh together, share meals, and hold on to traditions. But there's always an empty space at the table. No one says Ty's name as often anymore, not because they forgot, but because saying it still hurts. Heartland is filled with memories that refuse to fade. Every corner holds a reminder of what once was. The family has learned how to live with that pain, even if they never truly accepted it. Episode 1 begins with this quiet reality. There is no warning, no sign that anything is about to change. Just another day shaped by loss, love, and survival. Amy believes she understands her life now. She believes she has faced the worst and learned how to move forward. But Heartland has always been a place where the past and present collide in unexpected ways beneath the calm surface. Something is shifting. The ground feels familiar, yet unstable. And without knowing it, Amy is standing on the edge of a moment that will challenge everything she thought she had already survived. Amy starts noticing it in the smallest ways. The kind of moments most people would ignore. A sound in the distance that feels too familiar. A quiet feeling that settles in her chest without warning. It does not feel like fear or hope, but something in between. Something that makes her pause even when there is no clear reason to stop. At first, she tells herself it is just memory playing tricks on her mind. Grief has a strange way of bringing the past back when you least expect it. She has lived with that long enough to know how powerful it can be. Still, this feels different. This feels closer, heavier, like something pressing against the present instead of staying where it belongs. As Amy goes through her day, the feeling does not leave. It follows her across the ranch, through the barn, and into moments where she should feel calm. The horses react before she does. One of them lifts its head suddenly, ears alert, as if sensing something unseen. Another becomes restless, pacing in a way Amy has not seen before. She tries to ground herself, reminding herself that animals respond to emotions, and her emotions are never fully quiet anymore. But deep down, she knows this is not just about her. There is a pull she cannot explain, a sense that something nearby is reaching back toward her. Memory begins to blur with reality. Amy finds herself thinking about Ty more than usual, not in flashes of pain, but in steady, clear thoughts. She remembers his habits, the way he used to move around the ranch, the way his presence filled spaces without effort. These memories do not feel distant or faded. They feel sharp and close, like they are happening again instead of being recalled. She catches herself turning toward familiar pots, expecting to see him there. And each time she feels a quiet disappointment of knowing that will never happen. Or at least, that is what she believes. The strange part is that the disappointment does not fully settle. Something keeps interrupting it, like a question that refuses to be answered. The atmosphere at Heartland begins to shift, even if no one can name why. Conversations feel shorter. The air feels heavier. Jack pauses more often during his routines, lost in thought without realizing it. Lou feels uneasy, distracted by a sense she cannot place. No one connects these feelings yet. They move through the day as they always do, trusting routine to carry them forward. But routine starts to feel fragile, like one wrong step could break it. Heartland has always been shaped by emotion, and right now, emotion is building quietly, waiting for the right moment to surface. Amy tries to ignore the signs because acknowledging them would mean open in a door she believes is locked forever. She has spent so long learning how to live with loss that the idea of change feels dangerous. Change means hope, and hope has hurt her before. So she keeps working, keeps moving, keeps telling herself that what she feels is not real. But denial does not make the feeling disappear. Instead, it grows stronger, sharper, more demanding. There is a sense of presence that does not fade with time or distance. It stays close, almost protective, like someone watching from just out of sight. By the end of the day, Amy knows something is wrong, even if she cannot explain it. The wrench feels alive in a different way, as if it is holding its breath. The familiar comfort of Heartland is mixed with tension, and the silence feels loaded with meaning. This is no longer just memory or grief resurfacing. This feels like the beginning of something that cannot be undone. Amy stands in the quiet, caught between what she knows to be true and what her heart is beginning to sense. Whatever is coming, it is closer than she thinks. And once it arrives, nothing will be able to return to the way it was before. Amy does not see him right away, at first. It is only a shape in the distance, a figure standing still where no one usually stands. Her eyes pass over it once, then again, her mind refusing to accept what her vision is trying to form. The world feels suddenly quiet, like all sound has been pulled away. She blinks, takes a breath, and tells herself it is not real. Grief can do this, she reminds herself. It can turn memory into something that looks alive. But when she looks again, the figure has not disappeared. It has not moved either. It is simply there, solid and impossible. Her body reacts before her heart does. Her breath catches. Her hands tremble, and her feet refuse to move. Fear rises. First, not joy, fear that her mind is finally breaking, fear that hope is playing a cruel trick on her. The closer she gets, the harder it becomes to breathe. Every step feels heavy, like the ground is trying to hold her back. She wants to run, but she is afraid of what will happen if she does. Afraid that if she moves too fast, the moment will shatter. Afraid that if she stops, she will lose him again without ever knowing if he was truly there. When Amy finally sees his face clearly, time seems to slow. Ty stands in front of her, older, quieter, and filled with a sadness that mirrors her own. He looks real in a way memory never does. There is no glow, no dreamlike haze, no feeling of distance. He breathes, shifts his weight, and looks at her with eyes that carry regret and love at the same time. Amy cannot speak. Her voice feels locked inside her chest. Trapped beneath years of pain and unanswered questions, she searches his face for signs that this is wrong, that this is a trick. But everything about him feels painfully familiar. The reunion is not joyful. There are no tears of happiness, no rushing into each other's arms. There is only shock, confusion, and a deep, aching fear of what this moment might cost. Amy feels anger rise alongside relief, anger that he is here after she learned how to survive without him, anger that his return reopens wounds she worked so hard to close. At the same time, her heart aches with a love that never truly left. Loving him again feels natural and terrifying. It reminds her of everything she lost and everything she still wants but is afraid to claim. Ty speaks softly, careful not to break the moment. His voice is steady, but heavy, like he knows the damage his presence causes. Amy listens, but the words barely register. All she can focus on is the fact that he is standing there, alive in front of her, when she spent so long believing she would never see him again. The questions pile up in her mind, but none of them escape her lips. How is he here? Why now? What does this mean? Every question feels dangerous, as if asking them might make him disappear. As they stand together, the weight of their shared past presses down on them. Everything they lost, everything they never got to finish, hangs between them. This is not a second chance wrapped in happiness. It is a collision of grief and love, of hope and fear. Amy realizes that the news does not reach the family all at once. It moves slowly, carried by silence, by the strange look on Amy's face, by the tension that settles over the ranch like a heavy cloud. When they finally see Ty standing where he should never be again, disbelief hits first. No one rushes forward. No one knows how to react to something that should not exist. Years of grief do not disappear just because the impossible is standing in front of them. Instead, that grief rises, sharp and overwhelming, demanding to be felt all over again. Jack is the first to truly step closer. His face tightens, his eyes searching T's like he is trying to understand whether this is real or some cruel test. He has buried people before. He has learned how to accept loss, even when it feels unfair. But this breaks every rule he knows. His voice is steady, but it carries weight, the kind that comes from pain held in for too long. He wants answers, but more than that, he wants to protect his family from being hurt again. Seeing Ty brings back every moment of anger, sadness, and regret he thought he had already faced. He does not know whether to feel relief or betrayal. Lou's reaction is different. Emotion crashes over her all at once. She struggles to breathe, to think, to stand still. Her heart races between joy and fear, caught in the shock of seeing someone she mourned standing alive in front of her. Tears come quickly, not because she is happy, but because the pain she pushed aside has been pulled back to the surface. She wants to embrace Ty, to believe this means everything is going to be okay. At the same time, she feels anger burning beneath the surface, anger at the confusion, at the timing, at the damage this return might cause to Amy and the rest of the family. The rest of the family stands frozen, each person processing the moment in their own way. Some stare, afraid to blink, others turn away, unable to face the truth of what they are seeing. No one prepared them for this. There is no guide for how to react when someone you buried suddenly returns. Old wounds open. Instantly, conversations that were never finished come rushing back. Words that were left unsaid now feel heavier than ever. The family realizes that this moment does not erase their pain. It multiplies it. Tension builds as questions fill the air. Where has Ty been? Why is he here now? What does this mean for the life they rebuilt without him? Each question feels dangerous, like pulling on a thread that could unravel everything. The family wants answers, but they are also afraid of them. Answers could bring relief, or they could bring more heartbreak. In the space between those possibilities, emotions clash. Trust feels fragile. Love feels complicated. The ranch that once felt safe now feels uncertain. Amy stands at the center of it all, caught between her family and the men she never stopped loving. She sees the pain in their eyes and knows she carries part of the weight of this moment. The family looks to her for guidance, for clarity, but she has none to give. She is struggling just to breathe through the storm she did not expect. T's presence forces everyone to face emotions they thought they had already survived. This is not a joyful reunion. It is a reckoning. The family understands that no matter how this moment ends, it will change them forever. Heartland is no longer just a place of healing. It is now the place where the past has returned, demanding to be faced. Amy feels like her world has split into two versions of itself. One version is the life she built after losing Ty, shaped by survival, responsibility, and quiet strength. The other stands right in front of her, alive and breathing, pulling her back into emotions she believed she had already faced and put away. Being near Ty again does not feel like healing. It feels like standing in the middle of a storm with no place to hide. Every step she takes toward him feels like a step away from the version of herself she worked so hard to become. For a long time, Amy believed she had learned how to live without him. She told herself that love does not disappear. It just changes form. She found purpose in her work, strength in her family, and meaning in caring for the horses. That version of her life felt stable, even if it was built on loss. Ty's return shakes that foundation. It forces her to question whether she truly moved forward or simply learned how to exist without hope. The feelings she buried rise quickly, and they are stronger than she remembers. Love comes back without effort, as if it never left. Fear follows just as fast, whispering that loving him again could destroy everything she rebuilt. Amy struggles with anger she does not want to admit. Part of her feels betrayed, not because Ty returned, but because his return takes away the control she fought to gain. She worked so hard to accept that he was gone, to make peace with a future that no longer included him. Now that future feels uncertain again. She wonders if it is fair to be angry when the person she loves is standing in front of her. But emotions are not logical, and grief does not follow rules. Loving Ty again means risking the pain of losing him again, and that risk feels unbearable. Her identity feels fragile in ways she did not expect. For so long, Amy defined herself by survival. She became someone who could stand on her own, someone who did not fall apart when life became cruel. Ty's presence reminds her of the woman she was when she allowed herself to dream freely, when love felt safe instead of dangerous. She does not know which version of herself is stronger, the one who survived loss or the one who believed in love without fear. Being forced to choose between those two versions feels like another kind of loss every moment. With Ty carries weight. His voice, his expressions, and his familiar habits bring comfort and pain at the same time. Amy wants to reach for him, to believe that this is a second chance, that everything they lost can be restored. At the same time, she pulls back, afraid of how easily she could fall apart if this moment is taken from her again. She questions whether hope is worth the risk, whether opening her heart again is brave or foolish. These thoughts consume her, leaving her emotionally exhausted and unsure of what she truly wants. As the day continues, Amy realizes that Ty's return does not come with clear answers or easy choices. It places her at a crossroads she never asked for. No matter what she decides, there will be consequences. Holding on to Ty could mean reliving old pain. Letting him go could mean denying a love that never truly ended. Amy understands that her future is no longer something she can plan or control. It is something she must face with honesty, even if that honesty hurts. In this moment, she knows that her heart is no longer protected by distance or time. It is fully exposed. And whatever comes next will define who she becomes from here on. As night settles over Heartland, the questions become louder than the silence. Ty's return hangs in the air like something unfinished, something that refuses to explain itself. No one fully understands how he is here or what his presence truly means. And that uncertainty is what makes everything feel fragile. This is not a simple reunion with clear answers. It feels layered, emotional, and heavy, as if the truth is being revealed slowly on purpose. The episode does not rush to explain anything, because explanation is not the point. What matters is the emotional weight of the moment and how deeply it changes everyone involved. Ty himself does not offer clarity. He speaks carefully, choosing words that bring comfort but avoid details. There is a sense that even he is unsure of how long this moment will last or what comes next. His calm feels practiced. almost protective, as if he is trying to shield Amy and the family from something they are not ready to face. This makes his return feel both real and uncertain at the same time. He is present, yet distant, alive, yet carrying the weight of something unresolved. The lack of answers creates tension, forcing everyone to sit with emotions instead of facts. The episode allows space for doubt to exist. It invites the idea that Ty's return may not be as simple as it looks. Is this truly a second chance, or is it a moment meant to help Amy heal in a way she never could before? The story does not confirm or deny anything. Instead, it focuses on how the return feels rather than how it happened. This choice makes the moment more powerful because it mirrors real grief. Sometimes closure does not come from explanations. Sometimes it comes from facing emotions that were never fully resolved. Heartland has always been a place where emotional truth matters more than logic. Ty's presence brings that idea to the surface again. His return forces everyone to confront the past honestly. Without the comfort of clear answers, old regrets rise. Words that were never spoken now feel urgent. Love that was pushed aside out of necessity comes back into focus. The ranch becomes a space where healing and pain exist together, where the line between moving on and holding on becomes unclear. For Amy, this uncertainty is both cruel and necessary. She is forced to live in the moment instead of planning for the future. She cannot rely on certainty or control. She can only feel what is happening right now. Ty's return challenges her belief that healing means closing a chapter forever. It suggests that healing can also mean reopening wounds in order to truly understand them. This idea is uncomfortable, but powerful. It changes the way Amy sees her own journey and the choices she made to survive. By the end of the episode, it becomes clear that Season 20 is not about answers. It is about emotional truth. Ty's return is not presented as a happy ending or a miracle meant to fix everything. It is presented as a test of love, strength, and